The night Daniel Cross decided to ruin his ex's wedding, he wasn't drunk. That's the first thing you need to understand. He was sober. Sharp. Painfully aware of every thought slicing through his head. He stood alone in his penthouse overlooking downtown Chicago, staring at the illuminated skyline as if the city itself had betrayed him. In his hand was an invitation printed on thick ivory cardstock. Olivia Bennet and Ethan Caldwell request the honor of your presence. The gold lettering shimmered like a mockery. 3 months earlier, Olivia had still been in his bed. 3 months earlier, she had whispered that she loved him. 3 months earlier, she had promised forever. Now she was marrying someone else. And Daniel Cross, billionaire tech investor, ruthless negotiator, master strategist, could not accept losing. Especially not like this. He told himself it wasn't about love. It was about humiliation. But love has a way of hiding behind pride. And pride has a way of destroying everything. The idea came to him at 2:14 a.m. Not revenge in the violent sense. Not public screaming. Not drunken objections during the vows. No. He would dismantle her fairy tale from the inside. Quietly. Precisely. He would send someone unexpected. Someone invisible. Someone no one would suspect. Her name was Sophia Reyes. And she was his maid. Sophia had worked in Daniel's penthouse for almost 2 years. She moved silently, efficiently, with a grace that suggested she once belonged somewhere more glamorous than scrubbing marble countertops. She was 27. Dark hair always tied back. Sharp eyes that noticed everything and revealed nothing. Daniel barely knew her beyond the basics. She arrived at 8 a.m., left at 4 p.m., and kept his life immaculate. But she had something rare. Presence. People looked at her. Even when she was dressed in plain housekeeping uniforms, men's gazes lingered. Women straightened unconsciously. Sophia carried herself like a woman who had survived something, and won. The morning after he received the invitation, Daniel called her into his office. She stepped in quietly, hands folded in front of her. "Yes, Mr. Cross?" He studied her for a long moment. "I have a proposition for you." Her eyebrow lifted slightly. "What kind of proposition?" "One that pays $10,000. Silence. She didn't react immediately. That impressed him. "For what?" she asked evenly. "I need you to attend a wedding." Her eyes flickered with confusion. "My ex-girlfriend's wedding." Now she understood. "And you want me to?" He leaned back in his leather chair. "I want you to make an entrance." Sophia crossed her arms slowly. "You're going to have to be more specific." "I want her to see me walk in with someone unforgettable." Realization dawned in her gaze. "You want to make her jealous." "I want to remind her what she lost." A long pause. "And if I say no?" "I'll understand." He meant that. But something curious happened. Sophia didn't leave. Instead, she tilted her head slightly. 10,000, she repeated. "Yes. What exactly do I have to do?" He stood and walked toward the window. "Where something devastating. Stay by my side. Laugh at the right moments. Dance with me." "That's it?" "That's it." She studied him carefully. "You're not asking me to pretend we're in love?" He hesitated. If it comes naturally. A faint, unreadable smile curved her lips. You don't strike me as a man who believes in pretending. I don't. Then why this? He turned to face her fully. Because she left me for someone safer. And that hurt your ego? Yes. Her honesty startled him. And your heart? She asked quietly. He didn't answer. Sophia inhaled slowly. I'll do it. Just like that. Daniel transferred half the money that afternoon. The other half, he promised, after the wedding. What he didn't anticipate was how deeply his plan would unravel him. Because once he looked at Sophia not as an employee, but as a woman, something shifted. The first time she tried on the dress, Daniel nearly forgot how to breathe. It was black silk. Backless. Elegant, not vulgar. It clung to her curves like it had been designed specifically for her body. She stepped out of the guest bedroom hesitantly. Well? He cleared his throat. It will destroy them. She laughed softly. You're serious. Unfortunately. Their eyes locked. And something unspoken sparked. For the first time since Olivia left, Daniel felt something other than anger. He felt awareness. Over the next week, they rehearsed their roles. Dinner at upscale restaurants. Public appearances at charity events. Daniel's friends assumed Sophia was a new girlfriend. She handled it flawlessly. But in private, their dynamic began to blur. One night after an event, rain trapped them inside the car as the driver waited for traffic to clear. Sophia's shoulder brushed his. Electricity shot through him. You're tense, she murmured. I don't like losing. You're not losing, she said. You don't know that. She turned to face him fully. You're obsessing over someone who chose not to stay. Her voice wasn't judgmental. It was steady. Why does that matter so much? He swallowed. Because I gave her everything. And she still left. Yes. Sophia studied his face in the dim light. Then maybe it wasn't about what you gave. Silence filled the car. Daniel looked at her differently after that. Not as hired help. Not as a prop. As a woman with depth. Desire crept in quietly. It showed in the way his fingers lingered at her waist when guiding her through a doorway. In the way her breath hitched slightly when his hand rested at the small of her back during dance practice. In the charged pauses between sentences. One night, after too much wine and too much proximity, the tension snapped. They were in the penthouse living room. Music low. City lights glowing behind them. You're playing with fire, she whispered. So are you. He stepped closer. You don't even like me, she said. I'm starting to. That's dangerous. Why? Because I'm your employee. Not tonight. His hand brushed her cheek. She didn't pull away. The kiss was slow at first. Curious. Then urgent. Not reckless. But real. The kind of kiss born from loneliness and attraction tangled together. Her fingers slid into his hair. His hand traced the curve of her waist. It wasn't about proving anything to Olivia anymore. It was about this. This heat. This connection. They stopped before it went too far. Breathing heavy. Eyes dark. We can't, she said softly. I know. But they both knew something had changed. The wedding arrived too quickly. A grand estate outside the city. White roses lining the pathway. String quartet playing softly. Everything immaculate. Everything perfect. Daniel stepped out of the car first. Then he offered his hand to Sophia. She emerged like a vision. Black silk catching the light. Hair down, cascading over her shoulders. Diamond earrings catching the sun. Gasps rippled quietly among guests. Daniel felt it. The attention. The shift in energy. They walked in together. Slow. Intentional. Every eye followed. And then Olivia saw them. Standing near the altar in her ivory gown, she froze. Her smile faltered. Her gaze locked onto Daniel. Then slid to Sophia. And lingered. Confusion. Jealousy. Shock. Daniel felt satisfaction surge through him. But something else crept in. Unease. Sophia's hand tightened slightly around his. Not for show. For grounding. During the ceremony, Daniel couldn't focus. Not on the vows. Not on Olivia's voice trembling slightly as she promised forever to Ethan. He was watching Sophia. The way she absorbed the scene. The way her jaw tightened subtly. At the reception, the real storm began. Whispers spread quickly. Who is she? Is that his girlfriend? They look serious. Olivia approached first. Her smile strained. Daniel. Olivia. Her eyes flicked to Sophia. And you are? Sophia extended her hand gracefully. Sophia Reyes. Olivia shook it. Too firmly. You two seem close. Daniel smirked slightly. We are. Something flashed in Olivia's eyes. Regret. Or anger. Maybe both. But then something unexpected happened. Sophia spoke. You look beautiful, she said sincerely. Olivia blinked. Thank you. And I hope you're very happy. The words weren't sharp. They were genuine. Daniel felt something twist inside him. Later, during the first dance, Daniel leaned toward Sophia. We did it, he whispered. Did what? Made her react. Sophia watched Olivia and Ethan swaying under golden lights. Is that what you wanted? Yes. Do you feel better? He hesitated. He didn't. Instead, he felt hollow. Then Ethan approached them. Calm. Polite. Daniel, can we talk? Sophia's fingers slipped from his. I'll be right here, she said quietly. Daniel followed Ethan toward the garden. I know why you're here, Ethan said evenly. To celebrate? To prove something. Daniel said nothing. Ethan sighed. She told me about you. And? She said you never truly let her in. The words struck harder than expected. You controlled everything, Ethan continued. She felt like a guest in your life. Daniel's jaw tightened. And you think you're different? I don't own her. Silence. When Daniel returned inside, Sophia was gone. Panic flickered. He searched the ballroom. The terrace. Finally, he found her outside near the fountain. Alone. She looked distant. You okay? He asked. She nodded slowly. Your plan worked. It didn't feel like I thought it would. She looked up at him. Because you're not actually angry at her. Then what am I? You're afraid. Of what? Of being loved and not controlling it. The truth settled heavily. He stepped closer. This started as revenge. Yes. But somewhere along the way, he reached for her hand. It stopped being about her. Her breath caught. Daniel. I don't care about Olivia anymore. Then why did you bring me? He exhaled. Because I needed to feel powerful. And now? He looked at her like a man seeing clearly for the first time. Now I just need you. The words weren't rehearsed. They weren't strategic. They were vulnerable. Raw. Sophia searched his face. If I stay, she whispered, I'm not your maid. You were never just that. And I'm not your weapon. You're not. And I won't be hidden. You won't. Music swelled inside. Fireworks suddenly lit up the sky, part of the wedding celebration. Light reflected in her eyes. $10,000, she said softly. You earned it. She shook her head. I don't want it. Why? Because I didn't crash a wedding. She stepped closer. I walked into a man's life and changed it. Daniel let out a quiet breath. Yes, you did. Inside the ballroom, Olivia glanced out the window. She saw Daniel standing under fireworks. But he wasn't watching her. He was looking at Sophia like she was the only thing that existed. And for the first time, Olivia understood. She hadn't lost him. He had never truly been hers. As fireworks exploded overhead, Daniel pulled Sophia gently into his arms. No performance. No audience. Just them. And for the first time in his life, Daniel Cross let go of control. Because the maid he paid to play a role had rewritten the script entirely. And he had lost control. In the most beautiful way possible.